So with the Indigo Disk, we got a certain long-necked Pokemon, and no, I'm not talking about Alolan Exeggutor. Of course, I'm referring to the Raging Bolt. Now, with such an intimidating name like that, you'd think it was a powerhouse in battle, and you'd be right. Boasting a whopping 137 base special attack, this thing hits incredibly hard, and with its signature move Thunderclap, a special electric version of Sucker Punch, it's truly a threat to any team except Mono Ground. Here are the teams. Let me know who you think will win in the comment section down below, and stick around till the end to find out if you're right. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the battle. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Jonah. So they're going to lead off with Flower Girl, as expected, as we lead off with Corviknight. So I did kind of theorize whilst I was in the team preview. And by the way, not commentating during the team preview is really helping me a lot with deciding what to lead Pokemon with. I just found my own commentary quite distracting. But anyway, I figured they lead with this thing, so I lead with Corviknight. I'm going to go for a U-turn now. May as well get some momentum going off because their team is a threatening team. So they go for a U-turn of their own. They're going to get some Rocky Helmet Chip. It's going to turn them into a bug type as well, so they get that stab. Still does absolutely nothing to us because we're a Corviknight and we are very bulky. They're going to go back to Jonah, and they're probably going to bring the Raging Bolt in or the Heatran if I had to guess. In which case, we can bring Garchomp in. So in comes Clouded, which is going to be the Raging Bolt. So we go for a U-turn. They don't pop Photosynthesis, so they are Booster Energy. What set do people typically run on Raging Bolt? That's the real question. So what I could do here is, I've got a couple of options. I could go into Indeedee, set up the Psychic Terrain that'll protect us against the Thunderclap. We could do that. Or, no, I think I might do that. I think that's a good shout. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get Indeedee in, block that Thunderclap with the Psychic Terrain. Also, Psychic Surge goes really hard against that team. So what we're going to do now is, because pretty much we are in a good position, I feel like they switch into Meowscarada here, or the Heatran, probably the Heatran. So I am going to go Expanding Force. If they do, they stay in to take it like a champ. But it doesn't take it too well as they go for a Draco. That's probably going to take out Indeedee, right? Yeah, Indeedee goes down. So we got the Psychic Terrain up, but Indeedee does go down, which is unfortunate. Now, I would go Reuniclus, but Reuniclus is literally just Heatran Meowscarada bait. So what I'm leaning towards is Blaziken. Now, Blaziken is in a pretty good position here because, like I said, they can't do anything to us when it comes to Thunderclap. So, I could also go Garchomp. Garchomp goes pretty hard against their team. But the main thing that does really well against their team is going to be Primarina. So I'm going to bring Primarina in. I am going to bring Primarina in because we can go for a Moonblast, which is going to hurt this thing. It's going to hurt the Meowscarada if they switch that in. And then we can go for a Hyper Voice if they switch into the Heatran. So let's go for a Moonblast real quick. They are going to withdraw. I was actually hoping they would attempt to do the Thunderclap because a lot of people forget about Thunderclap not working because it's a priority move. They bring in Mochi though, which is going to be the, whatever you call it, Pecharunt. Not Pekarunt like I was saying, Pecharunt. So Pecharunt comes in. Now we know how we can wall this thing. No problems there. We can wall this thing to oblivion by simply clicking Corviknight right now. And I know I'm switching out, whatever. I'm going to go into Corviknight. I'm going to go into Corviknight because Corviknight does wall this thing to no ends. So does Skarmory to an extent. Skarmory less so because it's frailer on the special side, so Hex still hurts. They go for a Parting Shot though. And because we're Mirror Armor, it's not actually going to lower our stats. And it does work still. They still switch out. But pretty awesome how it doesn't lower my stats. Yeah, Mirror Armor is a pretty clutch ability sometimes. So in comes Clouded once again. Now, here is the thing. I'm pretty sure they're going to go for something other than a Thunderclap. I feel like they go for a Draco expecting the Garchomp. So I'm going to go Primarina. And the reason I'm going Primarina is purely because I feel like they're going to go for a Draco expecting the Garchomp here. I really feel like they're going to go for a Draco. Because they wouldn't expect me to switch Primarina in. There's no way. So we're going to go Primarina. They do go for the Draco as they expected. Brilliant. So that was a great play by me. Not to toot my own horn or anything like that. Now that we know what they're going to do, they are probably choiced. I'm guessing they're choiced by the way they switched out earlier. So I do want to go for a Hyper Voice or an Ice Beam. I think Ice Beam is my best bet, so I'm going to go Ice Beam. So they do withdraw. What are they going to go into? Are they going to go into Pecharunt again? Probably, right? Flower Girl comes in, the Meowscarada. They're expecting a Water-type move, expecting us to predict the Pecharunt, but we go for an Ice Beam, and that takes out Meowscarada in one clean hit. Down it goes. So there we go. Primarina is on it again. On it like a car bonnet. In comes Clouded once again. So the electric doodad thing is going to come in, and we can predict the electric type move now. They won't go for Thunderclap, obviously, because we are probably going to switch out here. They don't know we're Assault Vest, though. That's the thing. So we can definitely take a hit. I'm just wondering whether it's worth it or not. What else do I need Primarina for? Primarina is going to be good for the Raging Bolt. It's going to be good for the Heatran. We can wall the Heatran to no ends. I think we switch out. I think they Volt Switch, though. I don't know. I am going to go Chomp. I am going to go Chomp purely because I feel like they're flustered now after my predictions. So I think they're going to play it safe a little bit. So I'm going to go into this. They do go for the Draco, though. Great play on my opponent's behalf. Takes out my Garchomp, no problem. Pretty awesome play by my opponent there. They made the right choice. So they're back on track. So Garchomp goes down. That was one of my main sweepers of the team. Gone. Just gone like that. So we've got a couple of options. We could go Blaziken, and then if they bring the Great Tuscan, we can Terra Flying Brave Bird that thing into oblivion. And then we can take on the rest of the team. But it's going to be a tricky one. So now that they've gone for Draco, I'm actually leaning towards the Reuniclus switch. So I'm going to bring Reuniclus in. Because we've still got Psychic Terrain up. Unless it runs out this turn. Which it doesn't. That's good. We can go for the Expanding Forces. They've no longer got a Psychic Immunity. They have a resistant Heatran. But we could easily go for a Focus Blast. So I think they stay in and let Raging Bolt go down here. So I'm going to go for the Expanding Force. They do withdraw though. What are they going to go into? Probably the Heatran, right? Yeah, the Heatran comes in. I still think Expanding Force is still going to do a lot of damage here. So floating in the air with the air balloon is fine and all. We go for an Expanding Force. And that still does a lot of damage. Now, Reuniclus is pretty good here. The weirdness does disappear from the battlefield, which is a shame. We can still use it for later on down the line, whereas Primarina is a perfect switch into Heatran. Now, they probably sell the Stealth Rocks here, if I had to guess. So we're going to withdraw our Reuniclus, and they are probably going to go for their Stealth Rocks, if I had to guess, because they want to get Rocks up, stop us switching around so much. So we'll bring Primarina in, and we'll just kind of go from there. So they do go for the Stealth Rocks as expected. Now here, they're either going to let Heatran go down, or they're going to risk it for a biscuit with the Raging Bolt. Now, I'm in the mindset to go for a Hyper Voice still, so I am going to go for it. I feel like it still does a lot of damage. They go for an Earth Power for that resisted hit, or no, that neutral hit. Does nothing, lowers our special defense, however, as we go for a Hyper Voice, which is able to take out the Heatran, no problem. So there we go. So Primarina is actually on it again. But I don't want another Primarina video. I'm hoping Reuniclus can do something here. But that did a lot of damage to the Heatran, I've got to be honest with you. So Clouded comes in. But again, we can still use Primarina for later, so I am going to switch out. And I feel like they don't go for a Drake. I feel like they go for an Electric type move here. Not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. Flubber isn't doing too much. I think we can risk it for a Chocolate Biscuit and get rid of what do you call it? Flubber over here. I don't think Flubber minds going down. I don't mind Flubber going down. They go for a Volt Switch. They're definitely Specs, right? Yeah, that's Specs damage. And now they're going to free switch into whatever they want. They're probably going to go Iron Boulder if I had to guess. In comes Mochi. Mochi. Pretty good switch. It's definitely outspeeding us. And it's got leftovers, which is always nice to see. So what do we think this thing's going to do to us? I think it's going to Terra, personally. But I'm going to go for the Expanding Force anyway. Because why not? Just in case that we live this hit that's coming our way. They go for a Parting Shot, though. Which is great for us, in a way. Not really. It's not really great for us at all. But they go for a Parting Shot. They get on out of there. And they're probably going to go... I'd say they sack off Raging Bolt here. Because we could go for a Shadow Ball. They go for an Iron Boulder switch. That is a Iron Bold move. That was not funny at all. So they get that booster energy in the Quark Drive. It's going to boost their speed, which is terrifying in its own right. We go for an Expanding Force. And that's going to do diddly squats because of the lack of, well, the resist and other things. We're choice specs as well, so we've got to keep that in mind. So I have got the Corviknight switch, and U-turn does sting. So I'm going to have to let Flubber go down here. But if they go for a Swords Dance here, we're kind of boned. So I'm going to have to switch Corviknight in. I can't risk them Swords Dancing on my Reuniclus because they wall my Reuniclus to no end. And they can just set up Swords Dances, and I don't want that. So we are going to bring in Corviknight. There we go. As the stones are going to dig in, which is unfortunate. They do go for a Swords Dance, which is a shame. A real shame. Because that means that now they're going to sting us like mad. They are going to sting us. So, Mighty Cleave, they're going to get some Rocky Helmet damage. I'm going to go for a Roost here. They go for Mighty Cleave as expected. Does a lot of damage. Rocky Helmet damage is there though. And now I'm going to go for a Roost. And the reason I'm going for Roosts here instead of just attacking with U-turn is plain and simply because, well, I don't want my Corviknight to go down, obviously. So I think U-turn, I think we can't live, yeah, I think it's best to go for U-turn now. I think it's best to go for U-turn now. We U-turn and then we switch into something else. So they go for a Mighty Cleave. No crit, which is great. We get the Rocky Helmet damage. We now get the U-turn damage, which is great. And that nearly takes them out. We then switch out into whichever Pokemon we want to go into. Doesn't really matter at this point because that's the plan is this. We're going to go for Reuniclus because why not? We'll go for Reuniclus because why not? And then they might, I think Reuniclus gets Vacuum Wave. They might fear that, so they might switch out into the Pecharunt. I'm going to go back into Corviknight and let them take it out with a Mighty Cleave because then they get the Rocky Helmet chip, which is obviously going to take them out thanks to the low health. So let's go Silvera. There we go. Silvera comes in once again. Stones dig in, which means we faint, which is really unfortunate. I kind of underestimated the power of stones. You know, I really underestimated the power of stones then. I think we lose. I think we lose to Iron Boulder. The only thing I can do really is Blaziken double protect. That's all I can really do. Blaziken double protect. So I'm going to go Blaziken. I'm going to protect away. There we go, protect. I love how it does such a cool battle pose just for a protection move. Pretty cool. They go for a Zen Headbutt, which would be super effective, of course. And now, my best bet, if they're going to go for a Zen Headbutt, my best bet is to Tera. Wait, what's my other Tera options? Your Tera Ground. I might actually say change of plan here. And I might get Primarina. I might say change of plan. In fact, no. You know what? Blaziken ain't doing anything else. Thunderclap takes us out, probably. Let's go for the double protect. We'll see if we can get it. We don't get it, unfortunately. But I was going to say they might miss Zen Headbutt, but they go for a Mighty Cleave and get a critical hit, so there was no chance. So KFC does go down, which is unfortunate. But what can you do? Now we have to go Primarina and hope for the best. The reason I'm going Primarina is because we can Terra Ground. If we Terra Ground, we're actually alright. Only if they go for the Mighty Cleave, though. If they don't go for Mighty Cleave, we're screwed. So I am going to go for the Terastalization into a Hyper Voice, just to resist that Mighty Cleave, but if they go for a Zen Headbutt, we're screwed. Double Protect on Blaziken would have let Blaziken pretty much sweep through their team, depending on the Great Tusk set. And the Pecharunt being weakened, but, you know, it is what it is. So we'll Terra Ground with Primarina. And let's hope we can save the day. They go for a Zen Headbutt, and they miss, which is amazing. We go for a Hyper Voice. That just saved our bacon. Big time. Call that full English, because that's some bacon right there. In comes Clouded. The Raging Bolt. So this thing is a bit terrifying right now, because they can go for a Draco, and they can definitely do some serious damage to us. But we can mitigate that by going into Reuniclus and sacking it off. And the reason I'm going to do this is because they're going to go for a Draco Meteor right now. They can't go for an electric move because I'm a ground type. They're going to go for a Draco Meteor. So we're going to get that special attack lowered, which is ideal. They're going to Terra, which is good to note. So they're going to Terra. Is it going to be pure Dragon or is it going to be something else? Grass. That is good to know. So they are going to resist ground type moves, obviously. And they would have resisted our Hyper Voice and probably lived it. So they go for a Terra Blast, which is definitely going to sting. There we go. The nice Solar Beam is going to come through. Take out Reuniclus. Reuniclus is nowhere near as bulky as I remember it being back in the day. I remember it being a lot bulkier, but, you know, it is what it is. So it all comes down to Primarina once again. Can we get some Primarina respect in the chat, please? In the chat. It's a live stream. No, it's not a live stream. Anyway, Point Stones are going to dig in, which is unfortunate, but we do resist them now. Let us go for a Ice Beam. Ice Beam should save the day here. They go for the Terra Blast. We should eat this. It's super effective, but we have got the Assault Vest. We should eat this pretty well. We don't. We do not take that at all. Wasn't even a crit. Assault Vest didn't mean nothing. 400 plus special defense with the Assault Vest. Nothing. Means nothing. Raging Bolt KOs us, and that is going to be the game. So GG, Jonah. That was a pretty fun one. But anyway, here is the team. Use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.